as we've seen all day. We've heard struggling stories like that all day from constituents, regular Canadians, struggling to get by. And we have called for relief from this carbon tax. We are talking about how carbon tax is affecting the farmers that we are dealing with in my area and others that are trying to figure out how they're going to manage these increased prices. When you're talking about drying, when you're talking about fuel for other methods, everything has a cascading effect. And if anyone's gone to the grocery store lately, the price of groceries on anything is absolutely out of control. It is absolutely sad to see this. And we saw this same plan here in Ontario. The same thing happened when the Ontario Liberals decided to mess around in the energy sector and start picking winners and losers in the energy market. We saw energy poverty. We saw more people relying on food banks than ever before because they could not afford their electricity bill. Because the government decided it would start to allow massive subsidies for energy that did not meet the massive demands that Ontario needed. And even when it did, then the excess energy, because storage capacity is not where it should be, it will someday, was sold pennies on the dollar to various states, especially New York State and Michigan, for pennies on the dollar. So our businesses would actually be subsidizing their competitors for their cost of energy. So, Speaker, we need more sources of energy. We need to stop the spending. We need to look at ways we can grow the economy, start building things, low taxes, less government, more freedom, Speaker.
Madam Speaker, we've been listening to Conservatives all day talk about everything that they're going on and on about that doesn't have to do with Bill C-8. Bill C-8 is a support package, the fall economic statement, that is meant to deliver supports to a lot of the people that these members on the other side of the House keep referring to over and over. This is not about inflation. It's not about the price of gas. It's not about a whole bunch of stuff other than supports that are in a bill that was introduced back in December. The only party that is still talking about this to this piece of legislation right now is the Conservatives. So my question to the member is quite simple. I have a lot of respect for this member. When does he think that the Conservatives will finally let us vote on this very important piece of legislation that will provide supports to Canadians?
The honourable member for Haliburton, Kawartha Lakes, Brock.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thank you to my friend across the way for his question. Speaker, this is our job. We're legislators. We're supposed to be criticizing. We're supposed to be talking about how we can improve pieces of legislation. And Speaker, I will not stop talking about this issue and the causes of inflation when we're talking about a bill that is adding an additional $70 billion in new spending. And I had just gone through how printing money, expanding the money supply, is hurting everyday constituents. How the carbon tax is hurting everyday constituents and getting email after email, phone call after phone call of people, real people who are struggling because of policies brought in by this government. So no, I will not stop talking about it, especially when this legislation is terrible.